So bored. Wish I had something new to play. The Sega Genesis Mini. Okay, so let's talk about the Sega Genesis Mini. Only this is my real Genesis. This is the Sega Genesis Mini. And look how tiny it is compared to the real thing. What are you doing here, Mario? Get out of here. You don't belong here. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this puppy. Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I can't wait to open this. Okay, what games do we have here? Of course, we got Echo the Dolphin, Castle of Illusion, which is kind of a surprise that they would get a Disney game on here. Alex Kidd, Alicia Dragoon, which is kind of an underrated game. I played it a couple times and it was a lot of fun. Altered Beast, Beyond Oasis, Castlevania Bloodlines, that's kind of a surprise. Columns, Comic Zone, Contra Hardcore, Dynamite Heady, Earthworm Jim, another surprise, Eternal Champions, Ghouls and Ghosts, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Kid Chameleon, Landstalker, Light Crusader, which I want to try that. It looked pretty cool when I played the ROM. Mega Man, which is kind of interesting. Monster World 4, Phantasy Star 4, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Road Rash 2, which is one of my all-time favorites, Shining Force, Shinobi 3, and then we get into the obligatory Sonic Spinball, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic 2, but there's no Sonic 3, which in a way I'm kind of thankful for because how many Sonic games do we need? Space Harrier 2, Street Fighter 2, which I love that, Streets of Rage 2, which is definitely the best one, Strider, Fantasy Zone, is that Fantasy Zone 2? Thunder Force 2 or 3? I'm not sure, it's kind of hard to see in the teeny tiny box art. Toe Jam and Earl, Vector Man, Virtual Fighter 2, which is not a 3D game, but I thought it was interesting that they turned it into a 2D game. Wonder Boy in Monster World? Is that what that is? And then World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. So there's 2 Mickey Mouse games on here. Plus there's also Darius 2 and Tetris. Alright, so what's in the box? What's in the box? Can't wait to open this. This truly is the first time I've opened this. Alright, so we got the power brick, which was suspiciously absent from the PlayStation Mini. We've got a controller here. So yeah, this is the controller. It's it feels good, but it feels kind of light in comparison to like a real 3-button Sega Genesis controller. Now, if I had told you that this was the real one, could you tell the difference? Slightly shinier on the real controller, I think. Yeah, basically the same. The plastic feels different though. It doesn't feel quite as slick. All right, so here's my other controller. They give you 2, which is nice. And then you've got this cable here. This would be your power cable, which uses a I guess it's a micro. Is that a micro USB? Probably. These are prevalent everywhere. Then you've got your HDMI cable, which it's just like your regular wide, big-sized HDMI cable. And then you've got the instruction manual, which I will of course read thoroughly. Looks kind of nice actually. Gives you kind of the details of it. But does anybody actually read the manuals? And then lastly, we have the main attraction in this little boring box. Okay, so that's the unboxing of the Sega Genesis Mini. Just kidding, I was gonna open this. You know I was going to open it. Ooh, there she is. Wow. I just love it. I just love it. So cute. It's just so cute. Of course, you got the slider that goes up and down for the headphone jack, which doesn't work, but it's a nice touch that it actually slides up and down. They even have the little teeny tiny headphone jack right there, but of course you can't really stick headphones in there. Would be cool if you could. Then of course you've also got your 2 USB ports on the front for the controllers, which is the exact same place as it is on the real Genesis. And you got the little cartridge door that opens. It doesn't really do anything. It would be nice if they would have just included a cartridge, even if it didn't really do anything. And then of course you got your on and off button, which is the legit on and off button. And then you got the reset button, which feels quite a bit different than the real one. The real one doesn't make that clicky noise. On the back, you got your HDMI connection and your power connection, and that's basically it. You can pop this off and hook up a Sega CD, which, not really, you can't really hook up a Sega CD, but I just think it's cool that they went to this level of detail. Although I will say, that looks quite a bit different than the real thing. This is what it actually looks like. I've never owned a Sega CD, so I've always kept a little plastic covering over it right here, but this is what it should look like. slightly different, but you know, still, for something that you're never going to actually use, it's pretty cool that they you know, had a little door that can pop off. All right, so feels good. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's going to fly out of my hands or anything. It's got a little bit of a weight to it. All right, so I'm just dying to try it out. Let's go ahead and hook it up. All right, so we come straight away into the language selection. I understand if you choose different languages and you get different sets of games and different box art and stuff like that, but I'm just going to go with the English because that's what I understand. Oh, that's cool. I love how it pops in like that. All right, so here's all the titles right there on your screen. It's so cool. Which one should we do first? I think by now you probably know the list of all the games that are on here. If not, then you can watch the video that I made a while back that just kind of shows all of them. So the first thing that I notice is that pretty much all of these games are listed in the order of the release date, which, I don't know, in my mind kind of makes it difficult to find the game I'm looking for. I mean, if I'm looking for, you know, Streets of Rage or whatever, I'm going to go to the S's. I don't really care when it was actually released. So first thing I'm going to do is change the sort by A to Z. So now I can find the game that I want. A lot easier, I think. And what game should I play first? I think it's got to be Streets of Rage 2. I'm not sure I like this background thing. So how can I change? Can I change that on the fly? I don't think I can. I know if I hold down the start button for 5 seconds, that'll kick me back out. And from here, I could do a save state or a load state, or reset the game, or return to the main menu. So let's do that. And I'm going to change the wallpaper. I don't like that wallpaper. Just give me the black background. And then, of course, you can go in here and change the settings as well if you want widescreen or narrow, which I don't understand why you would want a stretched out screen. That makes no sense to me. I don't know, it looks pretty good. It looks nice and clear. That's what I love about this. It looks really good. The quality, it's very clear. It doesn't look blurry or anything, which is kind of what I've gotten used to with playing it on the real Genesis, because I only have composite output on that, which doesn't look that great. Okay, this is what I call the slow punch maneuver. If you just punch these guys really slow, they don't fall down and you can just keep beating them up. Works great with the bosses. Or you can just stab them with a knife. Jump out, I'll do a save state right here. Boom, saves your spot with a screenshot there, which is really cool. Let's see, what should I play second? Oh, it's got to be another sequel. Another sequel. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Road Rash 2. I'm not as familiar with this version of the game as I am with 3, so it's a little bit different. It's the same game. You're still fighting people on bikes and knocking them off and laughing in their face, you know, that kind of stuff. Feels good. I mean, responsive. I know there's a slight bit of audio lag. I know that some other YouTube channels have pointed that out. It's like 11 frames. So if you're talking 30 frames per second, it's about a third of a second. So I don't know if that's all that big of a deal. I'm more interested in the response of the controllers than the sound. Oh, got your chain. Ah! Okay, who's next? Who wants a little piece of this chain? Oh! Some mid-air fighting. Alright, I don't know, what should we try next? I got a lot of sequels on here. Streets of Rage 2, Street Fighter 2, Road Rash 2, Shinobi 3, Sonic 2, Virtua Fighter 2. A lot of sequels. The reason I'm playing this is because I remember GameSack's review of this and how it had that audio lag. So I wanted to see if I could notice it. Very slightly. I don't think it's going to detract from being able to play the game. Most people would not even realize that there's any kind of audio lag. Oh, I'm dead. I love that they've got the Konami games on here too. Some of the best games that the Genesis had are on this thing, so I'm really impressed. I'm honestly just kind of surprised that there's a Contra game on the Genesis at all. Never been good at these 16-bit versions of Contra. I much prefer the original NES. But I could probably get used to this if I actually sat down and played it. Oh, let's try Street Fighter 2 with the 3-button controller.
Round 1, fight!
This is rough. I mean, there's times that I want to quickly kick, but I can't do it because I have to switch first. It's hard to do it with this controller. Oh, I did that move. Now, the only thing missing off of this would be great if they had Mortal Kombat 2 on here. Of course, that might be something I hack into this thing later. Alright, gotta play one more game. One more game for you guys. What should it be? What should I gotta do Castlevania. Gotta do Castlevania. Now, they say Eric is a little bit easier to play because he's got a longer reach. And I'm all about playing the easy versions of these games. Look out, John McClane! Look out for the broken glass! Got him. Now he's a big blubbering ball of flesh. Alright, this looks like a good place to save it. Yeah, I gotta say I don't like that sting noise that it makes every time you actually do something. But yeah, the interface is nice, it's clean, it's fast. Alright, well that's my review of the Sega Genesis Mini. I think it's a really good consumer level console. I mean, there are a few minor technical issues that some other YouTube channels have pointed out, but I think for the most part, the average consumer isn't going to know or even care about some of those issues. All they're going to care about is that they can play 42 of their favorite classic games from their childhood on their HDMI television. Now, as for the price, I mean, I think $80 might have been slightly steep, but I mean, that's kind of typical when any new device is released. They're gonna kind of have a higher price than you would like. So yeah, I think if you could find this for 50 bucks, I think you'd be making out. Alright, so that's my review of the Sega Genesis Mini. What are your thoughts about these little mini consoles? Sega Genesis 1, the Nintendo 1, the PlayStation 1? Do you like them? Do you hate them? What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments. So if this video was useful or you enjoyed it, please remember to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons down below. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and remember to always keep classic gaming alive.